Hello everyone, Seago here. Today we are going to talk about the Resto Shamans. This is the guide for Prepatch of Legion. We're just going to do a class overview, what has changed, their strengths, weaknesses, spell summary of all the spells of a Resto Shaman, your talents, and of course your rotation. Oh, let's not forget stats. Can't forget the stats. Stats are important to people. Let us begin. Now, Resto Shaman is going to be amazing in Legion, dungeons, and raids. Mostly raids. Resto Shamans are going to shine in raids mostly because of their utility. They have the best utility, a utility kit, or a toolkit, whatever you want to call it, out of all the healing classes. They have Spiritling Totem, they have Cloudburst Totem, they have Healing Tide Totem, they got Spirit Walker's Grace. And if you spec into it, like I said, Cloudburst Totem, you could do Ascendance if you really wanted to. They just got it all. And they have movement-based totems. They have Windrush Totem, which increases the movement speed of everybody in your raid group. They just have it all in Legion. Now, there has been a couple changes to the class. Unfortunately, they have not stayed the same. Or, fortunately, if you wanted big changes to Resto Shaman, but honestly, I think Resto Shaman has been in a good spot for a while now. But first change, totems no longer have restrictions based on elements. This is one of the good changes. So pretty much what has happened here is you can summon 2 or 3 water totems now. So you can have a Healing Tide Totem or Cloudburst Totem at the same time, and the other one won't go away. And, that happened in Warlords, and before that you had like a Healing Tide and a Healing Stream. Well, one of them would go away because you could only have one water totem out at a time. Many totems can be placed wherever you want now, so Spiritling Totem is the big one here for that one because you can place it wherever now. You don't have to be at the position you need to be to place a Spiritling Totem. You can place it wherever you need it to be, which is awesome. Many of the niche totems are gone, such as Grounding Totem, and that was removed. I know some of them have been moved to the PvP talent system, but we're not talking about PvP talents today. One of the bad changes: Earth Shield is no longer is a PvP talent only. It's no longer something we get for dungeons or raids, which kind of sucks because that was a good way of healing a tank with Riptide. So rest in peace, Riptide, or not Riptide, Earth Shield. We still have Riptide, thank God. Rest in peace, Earth Shield. I will miss you. Glyphs have been removed, and there's been a lot of changes to the talent tree, including new abilities and passives have been put into that talent tree, which makes the talent tree a lot more better in Legion. Now let's take a look at their strengths and weaknesses. Strengths: they excel at group healing. They've always excelled at group healing. They are the masters of group healing. Enough said. They're outstanding at dealing with incoming burst damage. Again, same thing. Their mastery, they heal better if the target is at lower health. They're good at making sure you stay alive. They've always been good at that. Amazing life-saving potential. Again, if a tank's looks like it's about to die, we have a Riptide, we have Healing Surge, we have a bunch of stuff to keep that sucker alive. And you can bet we're going to keep you alive. Good mobility. Again, they can get around easily because of Ghost Wolf. Ghost Wolf has always been awesome. And here, and of course in Warlords, they got that updated awesome model. They also have great non-healing utility, like I said before, Windrush Totem, which increases the raid's movement speed as long as they're, I want to say it's 10 yards in the totem. Yeah, I believe it's 10 yards, and I think it's like 60% increased movement speed. They have strong sustained healing per second. They've always had strong sustained healing per second, or HPS if you want to call it that. Especially if any of you remember 5.4 Siege of Orgrimmar, you had Resto Shamans who could pretty much don't want to be AFK. You had Resto Shamans who pretty much could solo heal anything. I loved solo healing Garrosh on what would it be? It would be the heroic version of today. Yeah, it was normal back then before it was normal, heroic, and mythic. It was just normal and heroic back then. So yeah. Even Mythic's of Resto Shaman could do a lot of the work. Not all of it, but a lot of it. And they do decent damage when they need to be. And healers will be doing damage in Mythic Plus dungeons, especially when, say, you're doing a boss fight and there's nothing to be healed. Well, you need to be doing DPS so you can make that timer. There are timers in Mythic Plus dungeons, and you need to make that timer so you can get that fat loot. Now, they don't have that many weaknesses, but one weakness is they're mediocre at target healing and tank cooldowns. They don't have that many great tank cooldowns. You know, Holy Paladin, Priests have, even Druids, monks too, have better tank cooldowns, as it were. And they're not that great in situations that force the group to be spread out. Again, Healing Rain, well, people have to be stacked for that. In Chain Heal, it can only go so far. So that's two weaknesses. Like I said, it's not going to hurt the Resto Shaman that much. Again, you're in raids for Legion, you are going to need a Resto Shaman. Your raid needs a Resto Shaman. If your raid does not have a Resto Shaman, tell your recruitment officer, or raid leader, or whoever, you guys need a Resto Shaman. They are going to be vital to a raid team, especially if we want to push progression, especially if we want to be like a mythic raider, or even high-end heroic raiders, if that's the thing. You need a Resto Shaman. That's just how it's going to be, because of their utility. That what they bring to the table, you can't pass that up. It's just that simple. Now let's go to spell summaries. So let me get my fancy dancy spell book out. We should have like a spell book we actually open up in game. That'd be pretty cool. But anyway, let's start with Riptide. Riptide's your hot, as it were. It's you splash water on someone, so I always imagine me throwing buckets of water on people that heal them for such and such, an additional such and such over 18 seconds. Again, if you've played Resto Shaman for a while, you know what this is. You keep it on your tanks and maybe two other players. In Hellfire Citadel, you had a tier set that every time you chain heal, you had a chance to put a Riptide on the target, which is useful too. And it also triggers Tidal Wave, which is over here. Which casting Chain Heal or Riptide reduces the cast time of your next healing wave by 30%, or increases critical effect chance of your next healing surge by 40%, and that can stack up to 2 times. And Tidal Heals, of course, you want to be using that with Healing Wave, not Healing Surge, and I'll probably go into that in a little bit. Chain Heal, which is the most iconic heal, I would probably say, in the game. Everybody knows Chain Heal. It heals the friendly target for such and such, and then jumps to heal the most injured nearby party or raid members. Healing is reduced 50% after each jump. Heals 4 total targets. Again, this is your awesome Chain Heal AoE spell. I love it. This is my favorite spell in the game. And I miss the days where all we did was spam Chain Heal. Rest in peace, Siege of Rogrimmar. You will be missed. Next is Healing Rain. And Healing Rain is another awesome spell, which blankets the target area and healing rains for such and such health to 6 allies over 10 seconds. And I'll just show it here real quick. Same spell animation, maybe we'll get a new one soon, hopefully. But again, this hasn't changed. There used to be a talent where you could take where every time you would cast like Healing Wave, Healing Surge, or Chain Heal, that it would extend the duration of Healing Rain, but that's no longer in the game, unfortunately, so that in itself sucks, but I'll get over it. Healing Wave, this is your main single target heal. It's right here. A slow but efficient wave of healing energy that restores such and such of a friendly target's health. Now, you definitely want to use this when you have Tidal Wave procs. Which, Tidal Wave, you should always have some charges all the time. It's great for spot healing to single targets, and it costs very little mana, so when you have a Tidal Wave proc, and your tank seems kind of low, well, you just pop that baby, and there you go. Healing Surge is the other one. It's a quick but expensive surge of healing energy that restores such and such of a friendly target's health. Now for this one, you don't want to use it that much. Now, of course, if you're in like a oh crap moment and you need to heal fast, well, of course you're going to use that. But I mean, a healing wave with the tidal wave proc is just so much better than healing surge, and healing surge just costs a crap ton of mana, which you're not going to be using it that much unless it's an oh crap moment. That's it for your core ability spells. We'll get into the talent abilities here in a second, but I want to talk about your important procs. We already talked about tidal waves. Again, tidal waves just on healing wave. You don't want to use it on healing surge. It'd be a waste. Resurgence, we haven't talked about that yet, but Resurgence, your direct heal criticals refund a percentage of your maximum mana, which you get 1% from healing waves, 0.60% from healing surge or riptide, and 0.25% from chain heal. So when your heals crit, you get mana back, but heals don't crit. Shut up. Anyway, and of course, healing cooldowns before I forget those awesome healing cooldowns. Healing Tide Totem. So summons a totem at your feet for 10 seconds, which pulses every 1.6 seconds, healing all party or raid members. This is your main throughput cooldown. I'm not going to tell you when to use this because you'll probably have a raid leader or somebody in charge who keeps track of cooldowns, and they'll tell you when to use them on what fight you're doing. Dungeons, you can be a little bit more liberal with it, so you should know yourself. If your entire dungeon group is really low, you'll pop that. Spiritling Totem is also a really awesome ability. It's right here. Summons a totem at the target location for 6 seconds, which reduces damage taken by all party and raid members within 10 yards by 10%. Every 1 second, that health of all affected players is redistributed, such as all players are at the same percentage of maximum health. So it reduces damage taken by 10%. And I guess you could play. I guess you could call this your playmaker ability, which it can save your raid. I mean, it's really useful. This is a late lifesaver in itself. I can't tell you how many times I've saved like a raid group with Spiritling Totem. It's a really awesome spell. And Spirit Walker's Grace. It's just pretty much you can cast and move for 15 seconds on the minute cooldown. Again, we'll go into some of the other healing cooldowns you can get with your talents in just a second. I do kind of want to talk about DPS cooldowns just for a second. You have your... I'll just do them right here. Your Flame Shock, your Lava Burst, Chain Lightning, and Lightning Bolt. These are your 4 right here. Again, you'll be using them in the Mythic Plus dungeon settings, and if you do plan to level as Resto in Legion, well, there you go. But again, I'm not going to go too far into that because this is a healing guide, not a DPS guide. But we will be going on to our talents and your build. There's pretty much only one good build you'll be going for Prepatch. It might be changing in Legion, but let me go ahead and bring it up. We'll go through these. Anyway, so your level 15 talents are Undulation. Every 3rd healing wave or healing surge you cast heals for additional 50%. Unleash Life. Now, this used to be an ability we've always had, but they put it as a talent, which unleashes elemental forces of life, healing a friendly target for such and such, and increases the effect of the Shaman's Next direct heal by 30%. And Torrent. Increases the initial heal from Riptide by 40%. Now, Unleash Life is pretty weak at the moment, so you're not going to go with that. Undulation, you can go for, especially if you keep track of it and use it when someone's really low, but honestly, I don't like it that much. Instead, I know a lot of people have been going Torrent, especially some of the top-end Resto Shamans are going Torrent because that initial heal from Riptide is very helpful, especially on the take who's, say, like, below half health. Well, Riptide's going to be really helpful in that situation. And right now, I would say just go Torrent. Don't even worry about the other two. Torrent is your best one right now. Let's go level 30. Gust of Wind. A gust of wind hurls you forward. Pretty simple. I believe it's like a blink, kind of. Graceful Spirit reduces the cooldown of Spirit Walker's Grace by 60 seconds and increases your movement speed by 20% while it is active. And increases your movement speed in Ghost Wolf by additional 10%. Now, I've been using this just for open world stuff, especially since I can move faster than Ghost Wolf. But you won't be using this in a raid setting. What you'll be using in a raid setting is Wooden Rush Totem, which summons a totem at the target location for 15 seconds, continually granting all allies who pass within 10 yards 60% increased movement speed for 5 seconds. Again, this is like that kitty roar that druids get, and it's really, really helpful. You will be using this. Your level 45 talents, I'm not going to talk about Earth Grab Totem or Voodoo Totem because you're never going to be using them. Sorry, but you're just not. You'll be using Lightning Surge. And it summons a totem at the target location that gathers electrical energy from the surrounding air and then it explodes after 2 seconds to stun all enemies with 8 yards for 5 seconds. Good for Mythic Plus runs. Yeah, that's about it. Good for PvP too, I guess. You know, stun a group of people. Level 60, I'm not going to talk about Crashing Waves because honestly, you're not going to be using that since you all pretty much always have at least one charge of Tidal Waves off, so it's not that great. Ancestral Guidance, I'm pretty sure I said that wrong the first time, but oh well. For the next 10 seconds, 20% of your damage and healing is converted to healing on up to 3 nearby injured party or raid members. So 20% of your healing, which you'll be doing, is converted to 3 other nearby people. And you have Deluge. Deluge chain heal heals for additional 20% on targets within your healing range or affected by your Riptide. Now, Ancestral Guidance is the best choice for encounters where high incoming damage on a spread group is an issue, or for dungeons. So if you know your group's going to be spread throughout the entire fight, Ancestral Guidance will probably be the best one. But Deluge is the best choice for when you know you're going to have people stacking in a healing rain. And you also get that 20% buff from Deluge and all that fun stuff. Well, that's what you get baseline, not what I meant. But yeah, I've been going Deluge because I like it. Ancestral Guidance we've had for a long time too. But Deluge is the one I like better right now. And a lot of other Resto Shamans like it better too right now, so that's what everybody's been going with. Level 75, there's definitely a couple of different ways you could go here. Ancestral Protection Totem, which summons a totem at the location for 30 seconds. All allies within 20 yards at the totem gain 10% increased health. If an ally dies, the totem will be consumed to allow them to reincarnate with 20% health and mana. Now, this might be good for a PvP situation, but since we're not talking about PvP, this one is not that great because of the 5-minute cooldown. If the cooldown was a little shorter, maybe it would be better. But as of right now, no. Don't use it. Earthen Shield Totem. Summons a totem with such and such health at your feet for 50 seconds. And such and such damage from each attack against allies within 10 yards of the totem is redirected to the totem. And Ancestral Vigor targets your healed with Healing Wave, Healing Surge, Chain Heal, or Riptide. Initial heal gain 10% increased health for 10 seconds. Now, Ancestral Vigor is the most flexible choice here and works in pretty much any situation. And Earthen Shield Totem, it has niche usage, like you would use it on, like, say, the boats on Blackrock Foundry. When you go on the Iron Maidens fight, you would use it there. But other than that, it's a really used for it. But Ancestral Vigor right now is just the way to go. Especially when your tanks would love you when they get that 10% extra health. So there you go on that one. And your level 90 talents, Echo of the Elements. We're going to talk about this one first because this was the go-to talent for Warlords because you got 2 Spirit Link charges. You don't get 2 Spirit Link charges anymore, so unfortunately this one is just useless. Cloudburst Totem, it summons a totem at your feet for 15 seconds that collects power from all your healing spells. When the totem expires or dies, the sword power is released, healing all injured allies within 40 yards for 20% of the healing done. It was active, divided evenly among targets. And if you click this ability again, it will detonate early. And bottomless depths, resurgence always triggers when you heal a target below 60% health. So when you heal a target below 60% health, well, you get some mana back. This one would be good in fights where you're going to be mana starved. Like, you're just casting and casting, and when you know it, you're almost out of mana. That would be good for that situation, but for most situations, Cloudburst Totem is the way to go. It's the clear winner, and it allows you to preempt major bursts of rate damage with ease. So when you know there's a bunch of rate damage coming out, well, you pop that really quick, and chain heal or healing rain or whatever you gotta do, then when he's about to do it, well, or when he does do it and everybody takes damage, well, you pop that and bring them all back up to health. So Cloudburst will be used for most situations. Unless you need mana in a fight really badly, then bottomless depths. Now, your level 100 talents, we all know what Ascendance does. It's done the same thing it's done for a long time now. And unfortunately, they put it as a talent, and unfortunately, you're not going to take that talent. Wellspring creates a surge of water that flows forward, healing all friendly targets in the wide arc in front of you for such and such. You're not going to be taking this one either because of just how much mana it costs, and it's not really worth it. The only one, and again, it was the same in WoD, the only one you'd be taking is High Tide, which chain heal bounces to one additional target, and its fall off with each bounce is reduced by half. So your chain heal is more powerful, and it hits one more person. So there you go. So these are pretty much the talents you're taking right now, the ones they have right here, except this one would be this one right there. Those are the ones you'll be taking for pre-patch, and probably for Legion as well. I don't think these are going to change unless Unleash Life, unless they like buff Unleash Life or something like that, unless some of these get buffs, but other than that, again, you could go bottomless stuff. Like, you have some choices, you know. In Warlords, you didn't really have any choice. Like, there were talents where you just had to choose. The rest of the tier sucked. But level 15, you can go Undulation if you want, or you can go Torrent. These two, you just go these two. Level 60, you can go Ancestral Guidance or Deluge. At your preference, really. Or, you know, when the raid's spread, you'll go Ancestral Guidance. 75, again, it depends on the fight. Like, if there's a fight that would have you to do this, then yeah, you do this. 90, you want to take that one. You take this one if you need the mana, but this one is the clear winner. And level 100, too much mana, not that great right now. Best choice of that tier, again, unfortunately. But yeah, that's your talents in a nutshell. Now let's go rotation. Actually, before we go to rotation, I want to talk about the stats. Because stats are important for your rotation. If I can bring up the screen. Now, stats haven't changed at all. It's been the same in Mist, it's been the same in Warlords, it's been the same for a long time now. So your stats would be End of Course, Intellect, it's on almost all gear except Marines Index and Legion. Mastery is your big one because of the Mastery Deep Healing, which increases healing from your spells by up to 82% based on the current health of your target. Lower health targets are healed for more. That's been the same forever. Yeah, Critical Strike, again, Critical Strike increases the mana gain from Resurgence. Actually, it does increase mana gain if you can crit a lot. But the crit you get from your healing gives you mana back. Unfortunately, it's not as big as a gain as it was before, so its crit is still desired, but not as much as it was used to. Haste, haste just increases your spell casting speed. And that's versatility. I don't like talking about versatility because I don't like versatility. It's a boring stat, but it increases damage and healing done by 6 by whatever, and it decreases damage you take by whatever. And yeah, it's versatility. I don't like it. I think it's boring. But yeah, that's just stats. Again, your stats. That's been the same for a long time, and I don't think it will ever change. I think Blizzard likes how that works in all. But that's it for that. Now we'll go on to our rotation. Although I wouldn't really call it a rotation. Most healers don't have a rotation. It's more about priority. What's your priority? First priority would be to make sure Riptide is on both your tanks, and if you can, 2 additional players. Riptide also, again, provides you with the Tidal Waves ability. You want to also make good use of Healing Wave without spending too much mana. So when you have Tidal Wave procs, Healing Wave's the way to go. Healing Wave also, is your single target, so if tanks are running roll, Healing Wave them, and all that fun. AoE damage. Now, there's a couple of things you can do with AoE damage. When your raid is stacked, Healing Rain, make sure Healing Rain is up at all times when your raid is stacked, especially when there's AoE damage going on. And when you have Deluge Roll, you get extra healing from Chain Heal. So when there's a bunch of AoE damage, you place your Chain Heal, and then you place your Healing Wave, then you Chain Heal. So then I'll just Chain Heal away. And that's extra healing, as you can see there, like that. And let's see, so I'm gonna pop my Riptide, and you can see I have my Tidal Waves, and I'm gonna go Healing Wave there, and it's a shorter cast time there. Look at that. Cloudburst Totem. Now with Cloudburst Totem, it's interesting because if you know beforehand that a raid's gonna take a bunch of damage, you want to pop this, but you also want to kind of keep it on cooldowns because that's a big healing throughput as well. Also, before I forget, I've almost forgot one of the important ones. Healing Stream Totem. Make sure, you want to make sure it's on cooldown every 30 seconds, especially in Legion, because as I said before, which we'll talk about in the Legion guide, that puts a hot on other players when it heals them, which is awesome in itself. And again, your big healing cooldowns, your raid cooldowns, your Healing Tide, not your Cloudburst, your Spirit Link Totem, those, I'm not going to tell you when to do it because your raid leaders or your healing officers or whatever will tell you when to use them. Because everybody's different, every fight's different. They should have a little list like, okay, this healer goes first with their cooldown, and then the next healer goes with their cooldown. So I'm not going to really tell you about that. But I will tell you that always make sure Healing Tide is on cooldown. Cloudburst is on cooldown unless you know a bunch of damage is going to go out in, like, say, 10-15 seconds. Make sure you're casting Healing Wave with Tidal... I can't say it now. Tidal Waves. There we go. Only cast Healing Surge if you're in an oh crap moment. You don't want to be casting Healing Surge any other time, because Healing Surge costs too much mana, and you don't want to do that. So, say a fight's going out, normally when a fight starts, I'll just be like, okay, see, I know we're all going to start here, so I'll go my Healing Rain, I'll go my Healing Stream Totem, then I'll go Cloudburst since I can have 2 up at a time, then I'll just start either single target healing, or I'll be doing a bunch of chain healing if there's a bunch of damage going out. But it's all about looking at your... It's whack-a-mole. That's what healing is, right? It's all about making sure you're looking at your raid frames and making sure everybody's at good health. You don't want to be too low on their health. Always make sure Riptide's on your tanks. And I think that's it. Spirit Walker's Grace, I shouldn't have to explain this, but Spirit Walker's Grace, you want to use when there's going to be a bunch of movement and you still have to heal. So, say I go like that, then I can still heal. Pop my Healing Ray. I'll just do some chain heals right there, and boom, 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 boom. I'll do a decent of these. And I'll cast Riptide on my CU. And that's about it. Again, there's no rotation, it's more about priority. Like, what needs healing right at this moment? Again, Resto Shamans shine when there's a bunch of AoE healing going on, or I should say AoE damage going on, so they can pop their healing rain and their chain heal, and that's where they really shine the most, I believe, and especially with their utility, all the cooldowns they have, and all that fun stuff. They're just really awesome at what they do right now. But that's going to be it for this guide. Thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. I don't make videos that much. I plan to make more. Subscribe, like if you like this. Tell me what I need to improve on, because I'm always looking to improve. I'm still new to this kind of thing, but I hope I'm getting better. I hope you're enjoying these videos, and check out all the links below to support me even more. Again, thanks for watching. And my next video should be the Resto Druid pre-patch guide. Again, see you all later, and thanks for watching. Bye-bye.